Good evening and welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. There's a lot going on today, especially with the passing of the marijuana law. Now, in so many states, now it is legal to uh, purchase marijuana for the sake of getting high, relaxing, however you want to use it, other than for uh, illnesses. But my thing about that is how I feel about it. I mean, if people use marijuana, I mean, I think uh, they use it responsibly. It's fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. But at the same time, we have to use common sense and realize that, if you get high from smoking something, it does affect your ability to uh, maneuver or respond in the way that you normally would if you weren't smoking marijuana. So what I'm saying is I think that uh, it affects people differently. Some people can handle it. Some people can smoke a joint and you never know they high. Some people smoke it and they go off the rail. So it is something that need to pay attention to, and especially with all the technology and things that's going on today. We coming out with I see more and more electric cars on the highways today. And those things, from what I understand, um, if you hit them, they have a chance to explode in an accident. Or if they catch on fire, it's something that you can't put out right away. So you don't want to be high and being on the highway and having accidents. So I'm saying that I think if you smoke it in the confines of your home or some place where you're not smoking and driving. Uh, just to give you a little uh, insight, I had a friend used to smoke pot every day, go to work high, and he did it for I don't know 10, 15 years, I guess. But one day he came home from work and he had three fingers missing. So, and that's what the whole thing I'm trying to say is you have to be responsible with this thing. So that's all I have to say. But I mean, people who smoke, I'm not here telling anybody you can't smoke weed or don't smoke weed or you shouldn't do it. No, I'm just saying if you smoke it, just be responsible like anything else. Um, what else is going on today? I noticed that we have a primary elections coming up soon. And all I'm hearing now is that people, um, from what I'm hearing, has no political experience at all, which seems to be the norm. They come out and they want to run for office. And I look at things it's based on the conditions of the world today, and it's being ran by the uh, politicians. And if the world is in even though we're making progress, but is progress if everything is in disarray? We're losing our democracy. It seems like people are rebelling against the government. Uh, they're rebelling against each other. Gun violence. From what I'm hearing, the economy is in bad shape. We're suffering on the brink of inflation. So where have these politicians been? How are they getting rated on the job that they are doing and the job that they and the promises they made? So from what I'm seeing, they all get an F, or most of them. You may have a few trying, but uh, at the same time, what are you really doing? If we're not progressing, then they're not doing their job. They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. They get fringe benefits, vacations. I can understand them not wanting to lose their job, but at the same time, what about the oath that these politicians took to uphold the Constitution and serve the American people, not themselves? But it seems to me that they're more concerned with their job than doing their job. And it seems also that there's more, you have to fill out more paperwork or have a better resume just to get uh, a job making minimum wage as what is required from people that's running for office. So I don't understand that, but this is the way it is. And once they tell you, "Oh, well, we're going to do this, we're going to lower taxes, we're going to money for schools, we're going to do money for this," and when they get in office, it's gone. You don't even see them. You don't even hear from them anymore. Everybody sings that same song that they've been singing for years and years and years. So it's just time for a change. I mean, things is really, really bad and getting worse. I don't think I've heard anybody talk about the climate control. They're talking about, doing this, or they talk about how bad someone else is doing. And that's how you run a campaign, by downgrading your opponent. But we need some transparency, and these politicians need to be held accountable. They need a checklist. Make these promises, you do things, but guess what? You get out of office. They get all the breaks, but at the same time, a politician should be held to a much higher standard than the regular. From what I'm seeing, they should be, but that's not the case. You're supposed to supposed to set an example. And you're not. And then we sit back and we wonder why things are as bad as they are. What we're seeing is a manifestation of the people that's running things. They set the tone. They make the rules. We talk about education. So even in the poor neighborhoods, even if we don't have a building as uh, as nice, or have all the facilities that you may have a school in other neighborhoods, but the school is a building. What about the teachers? What about the dedication of the teachers? to put together programs to teach these children. And I think in some of these cases, I think teachers are not, I'm not saying I don't know, I'm just basing on what I'm seeing. Teachers are not some. Some are more than dedicated from what I hear. They go be above and beyond what they're supposed to do to buy material and stuff for schools, which I don't, which to me is ridiculous. They should not have to do that. And as far as I'm concerned, also, I think teachers are really, really underpaid. These are children, these are teachers, these are people that's teaching our children. They should have the best everything. They should get paid six figures to start. Well, maybe not to start, but let that hang over their head and have them on a rating program, but have the money there for them to make, providing they produce. Because the children are our future, and they are falling short as opposed to other children, especially the black children. The schools and neighborhoods need to pay more attention to. And of course, you're not going to think if you put something in front of them automatically they're just going to embrace it. No, it's just like anything else. You have to be detoxed from the nonsense. Put positive things in front of them, stimulate the mind. Because this future, the way things are going today, there is no place for the uneducated. These children are not prepared. They are in serious, serious trouble. And they are capable of learning. And sometimes I think we're too quick to label a child as having this and excuse me, having this ADHD or this and that. These children are a bundle of energy that has to be nurtured and guided in the right direction. And I think we're not doing it. We're letting these children down, some of us. And you don't teach. I find I used to be at one time, I was the homeschool president of University City High School. Uh, because I found that even though I had a business, but I found time to be involved. And that's what we also have to be, parents and people. We have to make time to really get involved and be there for our children. And this is the problem. This is part of the problem that we're seeing our young children out here. They're involved in having groups, having underage parties and shootings and drugs. They staying out late at night. No, mm-mm. That's the problem. And the problem is, you got to have discipline. You cannot just let children just do what they are children. But the way it looks today, like some of these children tell the parents what to do. You know, I was coming up, ooh, 6 o'clock. My dad would whistle. He had a whistle, man. We had to ask him, can we go play? And he said, okay, be home at a certain time. And he'd whistle, man. When I heard that whistle, I'd break. See y'all, gotta go. And it was tough on me, man. And at the time, I'm telling you, I was going through it. But as I got older and realized that was the best thing that ever happened to me, So we can't just let children teach themselves and run wild. You can't do that. You see what's happening. And we need to do more to protect them and more to educate them. And I think these politicians, they can do more to allocate money for these neighborhoods, for these children, and make sure that this money is going to these schools. They have the proper books, the computers, the knowledge, and everything to enter into the 21st century. That's what these politicians need to be doing. They need to take care of the seniors, take care of them. They done work, they put the time in. This is what y'all really need to be doing. We seniors shouldn't have to be begging for help, begging for uh, low prices for medicine and stuff. They shouldn't have to be doing that. A veteran should never have to walk around with a sign on the street and I'm gonna help him. A veteran made the ultimate sacrifice. His family made the ultimate sacrifice, while a lot of you politicians stayed home and went to school and made money. So you're better off. So you're in the position that you're in now, while the veterans went to war and served this country and came back and have nothing. And then they got to beg for money, stand out in the street and walk up and down with a sign. Where's the politicians? This is what you get elected to do. It's time for this mess to stop. It's time for you politicians to do your jobs or get off the pot. And they're only going to do that if the people make sure, the people that put these politicians in office and vote them into office to do certain things, make sure they do their job. If they don't do their job, have a clause in that on that ballot that say if you don't do your job, you get voted out, just like you got voted in. I'm tired, man. I'm telling you the truth. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing all the BS. Every time there's election time, it's BS, BS. These politicians sitting there talking, oh, well, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Biden is at his lowest. And I'm telling you, I'm back again with it. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm an American. But I'm sick and tired. I'm tired of hearing about people talking down on Biden. Biden is the president of the United States right now. Just like we support everything else, we support our president. The Republicans talk about what Biden is not doing, what Biden ain't doing. You're not helping him. You're not doing one thing. You're talking about infrastructure. This country's falling apart. The streets, the bridges. And the man come up with money to do it, to fix it, which the money is going back into the economy. And the Republicans saying no. I don't understand. And the man talking about the man is 26% or something. I think he's, from what I'm seeing, I think he saved the economy with the stimulus money. The stimulus money did what it stimulated the economy. I don't see or hear no Republicans anywhere giving that money back. But yet you're talking about the man. I heard somebody today say something else about Afghanistan. I'm sick of that too. All these other presidents talked about getting, even Trump, Obama, all of them talked about getting out of Afghanistan. Okay, Biden come up, he get people out of Afghanistan. That's okay. Now you have problems, you can't get everybody out. But guess what? He's out. He's tried. You try to do it. Nobody's perfect. But we're out of Afghanistan after 20 years. You got most people out, and I'm sure he probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing, using some common sense. I'm sure he's probably still trying to get people out. But you're going to have these problems. You're going to have them. And it's time for people to realize we have got to come together as a people and save America, save the planet, because global warming is destroying everything, and people not even acting like it doesn't even exist. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever seen in my life. When you see how the climate is, one day is 85 degrees, the next day is 36 degrees. One day is flooding, next day is sunshine. Polar bears can't even walk on ice. They're walking on ice, next day they fell into the water because the ice done melted. You can't go back and freeze this. And we talk when you talking about uh, 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 global warming in the ocean, what do you think fuel these storms, these tornadoes and hurricanes? Heat. We have got to get real. We have got to get real, because if we don't, we're in trouble. And for real, I read something. I read something a couple weeks ago, and it said if it would be a miracle if this planet 2070 would be fit for humans, it would be a miracle. That's how bad things are. Food in the supermarket, unless you go into a really rich neighborhood to get some really good fruit and vegetables, I haven't seen a decent orange in over a year in a supermarket. Fruit's horrible. Droughts. It's terrible. And inflation. Uh, Gas is going up, but I think I don't. Sometimes I got I got my own opinion on this inflation thing. I know things might be running tight, but I think a lot of this is price gouging by a lot of these companies, manufacturers, these businesses can be taking advantage of it. Because if you go into like this one store, I went in and I bought a salad, and when I about a couple of months ago, and when I went back in, I bought the same salad, and it was like a $2 increase. And so they didn't say anything. I didn't see any price. I just ordered this. But I caught it. I said, well, this is $2 cheaper last time I bought it. He said, well, everybody got a raise. Okay. So that's fine. So if the if the if the owner is giving is complaining about giving his employees raises, but the owner isn't paying the raise. It's the people that's coming in buying the sandwiches paying the raise. And matter of fact, it's charging them $2. He's probably making more than that. Probably making a lot of money behind that. So everything that goes up comes right back to the consumer. We get the bulk of it. So I think uh, one answer to the problem, solution to the problem, is if there's inflation, we don't have to consume as much. We don't need it, you know. Uh, especially when you talk about obesity and stuff. We need to just stop eating so much. You'll be a lot healthier, I think. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you will be. So that's inflation, and it's not going to. I don't think it's going to go down. Gas prices may go down, maybe, but with all these electric cars coming on the scene, I would think gas prices would be lower. When you think, because we're not using more as much gas, and you have battery operated cars and stuff. So why is gas so high? I don't know, but I'm not in the oil business, so I don't know. I'm just trying to use some common sense on this thing. This doesn't make sense. We need to get a break somewhere, but it seems like the poor man just doesn't. There's no break. I saw something today. Uh, Totally blew my mind. Uh, I was riding down around. I guess it's not like Fish Town, but it's like an old city around by the waterfront, and it was so many apartment buildings. I mean, it must have been enough apartment buildings to house maybe 2 or 3 thousand people. Modern buildings is being constructed, maybe more people than that. And I'm saying, like, it hit me that there's no place. There's no place in the future for the poor man. I'm telling you, because you got to have the way things are today, the way the economy is, uh, the way people are, especially certain people, when you don't take care of yourselves, you don't have good credit, you have bad reputation. It's hard. It's quadruple hard. And I saw all those apartment buildings. I know you can't even get in there. And I'm just using common sense now. You can't even get in there on about 1,400 to start. I'm just thinking. I didn't ask any questions, haven't said anything to anybody, but just using some common sense based on how things are going today. Can't get in there. And not even there when you talk about rental properties. You can't get anywhere. You can't even get a one bedroom, one bath in the city. It costs you 1,200. Easy, depending on where you get it. It may cost more than that. You know? And that's how it is in the city. Restaurants. What I think it was wasn't like a about a month ago that this one restaurant had like $100 minimum per person to come in there and sit down and eat. You know? So I think some of this stuff is going to be just for for the wealthy, for the wealthy and the people that can afford it, and poor people just can't afford it. That's the reality of it. Using some common sense, they better start doing something, you know, and thinking about it. These people are not putting all this money in all these buildings, having all these stores. And think they're going to have people just sitting around outside creating trouble, breaking in. Not going to have it. Things are going to change, and rightly so. There's just coming a time that People have to take care of themselves, and in the midst of transition, which is really what's taking place now, it's a transition. And in the midst of transition, you know, things are lost. A lot of people are going to be lost. A lot of people are going to be uh, misplaced and just fall by the wayside. That's just the it's just the rules of the game, the results of the game, and it's a shame. But they don't care. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares, and it's terrible. But there is a solution, and the solution is you got to clean yourself up. You got to ask yourself, do you want to live? Do you want to die? Do you want to live on the street, or you want to live in a house, have some heat, eat food? It's your call. It's your decision. And what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to work together. You have to change, and that's the reality of it. Reality of it. You just can't. This mess is not going on. You're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer because too much money, all this money, these investors is putting in these properties in these cities and these neighborhoods. Guess what? They're gonna take care of them, and you can't blame them. But it's time for you to start being responsible, getting some education. They got schools. You can go to these schools free. There's a lot of programs out here. Make these programs, do some programming. And that's another thing too. They talk about, I mean, Biden trying to eliminate student loans. And I'm hearing people talk about, oh, well, Biden shouldn't do that and shouldn't do it. Why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't, to me, why shouldn't education be free? Why shouldn't education be free? One one stealth bomber for the military probably cost over $1 billion, maybe 2 or 3 billion. I don't know. One plane. Who knows? Nobody knows how much money that the government wastes. No one knows. But yet you want to complain when Biden is talking about giving people a break with these student loans. I don't understand. You politicians, you're supposed to be there for America and the American people. Start being there. Stop thinking about yourselves. And anybody, any politician that stand up and support an insurrection on our country and denounce our election of our president when you know it's correct and you're going to call it a fraud and a lie, you don't belong. And that's just common sense. I'm not look, it's common sense. You don't belong in here. This is not what America's about. You're breaking it up. You're destroying it. This is not what it's about. If you don't like it, there's better ways to go about it than that. And be a part of it. Be a part of the system. Don't just pull out, oh, I'm not gonna participate. But yet you're gonna complain if things aren't your way. You have no say so in the matter. All you're doing is just lining your pockets with gold and talking a lot of BS. If you're gonna play the game fair and play it right. Because the American people suffer. Y'all not suffering. Politicians are not suffering. All of you in good shape, good financial shape, best protection. If they talk, if they have a, if they have, a, if they have say there's an alarm, say we're being attacked by a nuclear missile or something. All you politicians got somewhere to go. We don't. You understand? Y'all got all the benefits. You're making the money. Do your job. There's plenty of money. And the money that's given to the people, it stimulates the economy. I could understand it if the people taking the money out of the country. Hey, I'm on your side. Don't give them a dime if they're gonna take the money out of the country. But when you're giving people money or make them work for it and pay them accordingly, that's stimulating the economy. How can you not want? How can you vote down on infrastructure money? That doesn't even make sense. The stimulus money, like I said before, if it wasn't for that, I think this economy would have failed. Because these businesses was hurting. People were hurting. And these people did, a lot of them did exactly what you wanted to do. They took that money and they spent it. That's why the economy is doing good now. Joe Biden. Joe Biden, 26% by a poll. Who's taking these polls? And nobody, as long as I've been voting, ain't nobody never asked me nothing about no poll. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense. You know, the man is he's in his 80s. He's doing the best he can. Uh, to me he saved America because what was going on. I mean, it just didn't look good to me, and it didn't look good to a lot of people because he got the majority of the popular vote. So that means it didn't look good to a lot of people. And we need to start weighing this stuff out. It's no time to be fighting fighting against one another. Racism, okay, there, it's still here, but you know what? We need to try and work beyond it. Try and work it out of us. And it can and it's to a point that the doors are open, but you got to be a certain way or conduct yourself. You got to be clean, you know, to come in. Doesn't matter about the color. It shouldn't matter about the color, I should say. But for too long, it has been about the color. Too long, and now that it's coming out, people may not want to acknowledge it, but guess what? It was real. It is real, and it happened. So let's move forward in a positive way to make this country better, to make things better, to help pick these people up, teach them, teach them about the value of money, the value of education, the value of of being human, family, and love. Teach these people these things. A lot of these things have been deprived. That's a problem when you have uh, almost 1.5 million people in, in prisons, jails. 80%, 85, 90% of them are people of color. Come on, you know. But it's and get back. Well, while it's on my mind, I'm gonna say this right now too. Getting back to that marijuana, when they're legalizing it, everybody, any and everybody that has been locked up or incarcerated for marijuana, I think they should be let out of jail. I think they should be let out of jail and um, and given a paycheck. That's right. Let them out of jail and give them a paycheck because it wasn't an offense that actually, based on what you're doing now, deserve the punishment that was given to them. Give them a check, and the money the check that the government is going to give them, they're going to spend it. So it's stimulating the economy again. It's time to start doing the right thing. You know? And just because there's a white collar crime, you know, people can steal billions, millions, billions of dollars and get a slap on the wrist and it's okay, or maybe get 6 months in a country club somewhere for it. That's what's being done. I mean, that's a crime, but yet you'll throw somebody, a poor man, he steal $100, he'll get 5 years. All depends on what state he in. He might get life if he's in the wrong state and the wrong color, you know. But I think it's uh, as long as we're alive, as long as we are alive, we have a chance to change. We have a chance to correct things. You see, once you're dead, it's done. It's out of your hands. It's no longer in your hands. That's when. That's when. That's when your pay up time begins. People don't understand it. I'm gonna talk about that later, but not today. But it's just so much going on. Um, and I think we need to ease up on President Biden a little bit. I think he's doing. He's not perfect. Neither was any president that we've had from. I mean, come on, let's be realistic about this thing. And uh, people want to nitpick everything. They want everything just right. You know, nothing is just right all the time. If the sun's shining, oh, it's too hot. If it start raining, it's a miserable day. You know, not realizing there's people in other parts of the world, tornado done hit them, don't have no place to sleep. Houses is falling off cliffs in mud, fires burning. We're really blessed in a lot of ways, and we are, not appreciating these blessings that we have. And We're wasteful. We're wasteful people. We waste too much. And one other thing I want to talk about, just touch on. How do people, just because people have money, a lot of money, just having money doesn't give you intelligence. You understand? It doesn't. Matter of fact, having a lot of money can make you very, very dangerous because a poor man can't do anything. You know, and all these opinionated people, what are these opinions based on? People can, I mean, they can stare you down, want to go to fight. I mean, want to fight you about because their opinion is different from yours, and their opinion is baseless. But yet they'll fight you for. I mean, I don't understand it. Just because somebody's a multi-millionaire, a billionaire, they say something that has to be the truth. We have to listen to that. No, you don't. They got their money from doing a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? They might have knowledge about that thing, but if you haven't been on a battlefield, an actual battlefield with bullets and stuff flying around your head, and you looking at death every minute, every second, you can't tell me what it's like to be on the battlefield or be in a war. You can't do it. So we're giving people too much, you know, too much credit. Just because they say something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's so now. I'm not saying that what they're saying isn't so, but I'm just saying it doesn't. Just because you have money, it doesn't mean you're smarter than you. You could be you could be much more intelligent than that billionaire. The billionaire has money. That's all. He got money from somewhere. You know, it's just like you take an average Joe on the street. He hit the lottery for 15 million. Okay, now what? You get a PhD? You get a PhD in psychology, PhD in mathematics because he hit the lottery? No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that for him, and it doesn't work that way for anybody else. We have to start thinking and using some common sense, people. And we also have to get involved. We can't just let these people just call the shots that's, that can alter our whole entire life and the life of your family and the life of this planet. We have to stop this. We got to get involved and start doing things. And we need to start doing things for ourselves as a people. Oh, where these rich people get their money from? They get their money from you, from us. They guess where they get it. So why can't we take our money and use it for ourselves, along with helping them, and also work in this economy? You understand? Because the people that own it, it's going to own it. They're always going to own it. You understand? That's just how it is. But we can get in it and work and be a part of it and work along with it to help make this country a better place for all of us and stop acting crazy and value life and put God in your life. There is right and wrong. There's laws to live and govern everything. That's why when you start learning that, so you sow, so shall you reap. It's just that simple. It's not complicated. We complicate things when we be trying to figure these things out with no sense. I'm telling you, it isn't funny, but it's funny, but it's deadly. The consequences is deadly and suffering if we don't get it right, if we don't change. And I'm telling you, on that note, people, I want to say one thing. I enjoy talking. I'm getting better. Uh, I have so much to talk about, but at the same time, you have to be cautious of what you talk about. You have to be cautious of how you express yourself. You got to be cautious of things that you say. Even though, get back to what I was said prior, even though people may not even know, but just because you're not saying what they think you should say or how they feel something should be, right away, you're saying something wrong. That's why there is no such thing today as freedom of speech. There isn't. You have speech, you can say what you want to say, the things you say, but you know what? There's consequences. And when there's consequences behind what you say, there's no such thing as freedom of speech. It's the same as I tell people a lot of times that you can't separate church and state. You can't separate religion from your uh, uh, political beliefs because religion is your way of life, and you incorporate that into everything that you do and everything that you think about. You might say you can do it, but you cannot do it. That's like separating yourself from yourself. Now, on that note, again, thank you all for allowing me to run off at the mouth. But I think I said some things that had some substance to it. And I wish everybody a wonderful evening and have a good night.